welcome to your own personal deep dive.
Oh, cool.
Today we're going to crack open Creative Nation magazine's Solace issue
Okay.
and forget your typical glossy magazine. This
Yeah.
is a collection of perspectives on finding peace and inspiration in our, crazy world these days.
It's like they curated a toolkit for the soul,
I love that.
offering, a bunch of different approaches.
A toolkit for the soul.
Yeah, and just seeing what resonates.
Yeah. And by the end of our deep dive today,
Mhm.
you'll have a sense of, which tools feel right for you.
Right.
And maybe some unexpected paths to explore further.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in.
Well, the magazine kind of jumps right in, defining solace as that feeling of comfort amidst, grief or anxiety. It's like finding a harbor in a stormy sea.
That makes sense. But how do you find that solace?
Right.
Is there a map?
That's the beauty of this issue, is there isn't just one map.
Okay.
The articles cover, a whole range of topics, from mindfulness and creativity to, career changes and travel. It's about finding what works for you.
I was just glancing at the index before we started, and I was already intrigued.
Yeah.
Titles like The Art of Presence, Discovering Solace and the Power of Mindfulness, Embracing the Unknown, Discovering Solace in Career Transitions, and Serenity in Sojourns, Embracing Solace Through Travel's Transformative Journey.
Nice.
It's definitely not your typical magazine.
No, not at all.
One of the first articles that really resonated with me was the one about finding solace through creativity.
Oh, yeah.
It talks about how, creative expression can be a refuge from the noise of the world,
Yes.
a way to connect with your authentic self.
It's true.
So like finding a quiet space to create,
Yes.
shutting out all the distractions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's also about finding inspiration in unexpected places.
Oh, okay.
Like a breathtaking sunset or a thought-provoking poem
Okay.
or even just a conversation with a friend. Those seemingly, ordinary moments can spark something magical.
And even Einstein chimed in on this.
Right. He did.
He said, creativity is seeing what others see and thinking what no one else ever thought.
That's great.
And it makes you realize that even geniuses find inspiration in the everyday.
Yes, and what's fascinating is the article doesn't just focus on that initial spark of inspiration.
Right.
It also emphasizes, the importance of finding that balance
Yeah.
between structure and freedom in the creative process.
Okay, so it's not just about waiting for the muse to strike.
Right. Too much structure can stifle creativity, but too much freedom can lead to chaos.
Oh, so it's finding that sweet spot.
Yes, find that balance, and that allows your creative energy to flow freely.
Speaking of balance, there's another article that caught my eye
Okay.
that focuses on mental well-being and creativity.
Oh, yeah.
Something I think a lot of us struggle with, especially these days.
In today's world, it's so important.
Yeah.
And this article, stresses the significance of self-care practices like mindfulness and exercise and getting enough sleep,
Yeah.
setting boundaries.
Yeah, we hear self-care so much these days.
We do.
It's easy to kind of brush it off like an extra bubble bath or something.
I know.
But this article really drives home the point that it's crucial for sustaining a creative practice.
Yes,
And preventing burnout.
absolutely.
Can't pour from an empty cup.
Right. And speaking of nurturing our mental health,
Yeah.
there's an entire article dedicated to the power of mindfulness.
Have you ever tried practicing mindfulness?
I have.
I dabble, but I'm not always consistent.
Sure. Well, this article describes mindfulness as intentionally paying attention to the present moment without judgment.
Okay.
Just observing your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them.
So it's about being present in the now
Yes,
without overthinking everything.
precisely. And the article does a great job of, highlighting those scientifically proven benefits
Yeah.
of mindfulness for mental well-being, like reducing stress and anxiety. It's not just some new age fad.
Right.
There's real science backing it up.
That's reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
And they even touch upon specific techniques like meditation and breathing exercises.
Yes, they mention meditation, breathing exercises, and body scans.
Okay.
But the key takeaway is that there's no right or wrong way to practice mindfulness.
Well, good.
It's about finding what works for you
Yeah.
and incorporating it into your daily life.
That's encouraging, especially for someone like me who's just starting out.
Yeah.
I love that they emphasize that it's for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be a Zen master to benefit from it.
Absolutely. Speaking of venturing outside your comfort zone,
Okay.
there's an article on finding solace in career transitions.
Okay.
It talks about how, stepping away from a familiar path, even if it feels scary, can unlock incredible opportunities for growth and fulfillment.
I can relate to that feeling of like being on the edge of a diving board.
Yes.
Heart pounding, not sure if you should jump.
Exactly. And the article uses that metaphor beautifully. It explains that those moments of discomfort are gateways to growth. It's about pushing your comfort zone outwards, creating space for your true potential to bloom.
So how do we navigate those leaps of faith?
Well, the article shares some compelling stories of people who completely reinvented themselves
Okay.
in new industries or took the plunge to pursue their passion through entrepreneurship.
So it's about embracing the unknown, even when it feels well unknown.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about trusting the journey, even when you don't have all the answers. The article emphasizes courage and resilience,
Right.
in navigating career changes, being open to change, and seeing the possibilities.
It sounds like having a strong support system would be crucial during those transitions.
Absolutely. And that ties in beautifully with another article.
Yeah.
It focuses on the power of community
Okay.
and the solace we find in connecting with others.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about how meaningful relationships, both online and offline, can provide that sense of belonging and support.
We're social creatures by nature. That need for connection is woven into our DNA.
It's true.
It's about realizing we're not alone.
This article champions the idea that strong connections fuel resilience. It highlights the power of collaborative projects and shared experiences,
Yeah.
fostering that unity and collective growth.
So it's not just about having people to lean on during tough times.
Yeah.
It's also about celebrating the wins together
Yes.
and learning from each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that strength and wisdom
Yeah.
that can emerge from a supportive community.
And speaking of strength and wisdom,
Yeah.
there's another article that dives deep into the concept of resilience,
Okay. Oh, okay.
that ability to bounce back from adversity.
Yeah, resilience.
It's a word we hear a lot, but what does it actually mean?
Right.
Is it about being tough
Yeah.
and never showing weakness?
Well, that's a common misconception.
Oh, yeah.
This article defines resilience as that ability to bounce back from challenges. But it's more nuanced than just, gritting your teeth and pushing through. It involves having a growth mindset, nurturing your emotional well-being, and yes, having a strong support system.
Like we just talked about.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's about being able to bend without breaking,
Yes.
adapt to change, and come out stronger on the other side.
Precisely. And the article beautifully connects this back to the theme of solace, stating that resilience is key to finding solace amidst hardship. And to drive this point home, they share some inspiring stories
Wow.
of people who faced incredible obstacles and not only survived, but thrived.
It makes you realize that resilience isn't about avoiding hardship altogether,
Right.
but navigating it with grace and finding a sense of peace even in the midst of the storm.
Exactly. And it's not just about overcoming, major life challenges.
Right.
Resilience is just as important in those everyday moments, When things don't go our way, it's about learning to adapt and adjust.
Rather than letting those setbacks derail us.
Yes.
So developing that inner strength to handle whatever life throws our way.
Exactly. Building up those mental muscles.
Yeah.
So we can bounce back from anything. Now, shifting gears a bit, we've talked about creativity, mental health, mindfulness, career transitions, community resilience.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
I feel like I need a personal assistant just to keep up with all these tools
I know.
for finding solace.
I hear you.
And speaking of feeling overwhelmed, there's an article that tackles a topic I think a lot of us struggle with, finding that work-life balance.
No, yeah.
That feeling of constantly juggling responsibilities and never feeling like you're winning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this article really challenges the idea that neglecting our personal lives is somehow a badge of honor
Oh.
or the key to professional success. It argues that it's actually quite the opposite. When we burn ourselves out, we're not doing ourselves or our careers any favors.
It's about recognizing that we're whole people,
Yes.
not just robots programmed to work.
Right.
We have lives and passions outside of our jobs.
Exactly. And they offer some really practical tips on how to create that balance. Things like setting boundaries, prioritizing activities that bring us joy, nurturing our relationships outside of work.
It's so easy to let those things slide when we're feeling stressed and overloaded.
I know.
But this article really highlights the importance of,
Mm-hmm.
making time for things that fill us up, spending time with loved ones, pursuing a hobby, or just taking time for ourselves to unwind and recharge.
It's about understanding that self-care isn't a luxury. It's an investment in our well-being and ultimately our success. When we take care of ourselves, we show up as our best selves in all areas of our lives.
I love that perspective. Okay, the next article is one that really resonates with me personally.
Okay.
It explores the transformative power of art as a way to find solace.
Oh, yes.
It talks about how engaging in creative expression can be incredibly therapeutic, offering a safe and cathartic outlet for processing those complex emotions that we sometimes struggle to put into words.
It's like art gives a voice to those feelings that are hard to articulate.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be about, creating a masterpiece,
Right,
whether
right.
it's painting, writing, dancing, playing music, any art form. The act of creation itself can be incredibly healing.
Exactly. And they share some really powerful personal anecdotes and expert insights to illustrate how art can be a profound tool for self-discovery and emotional well-being. And it's not just for artists.
Right.
They stress that you don't have to be a professional to reap the benefits.
Hmm.
It's about tapping into that creative energy that we all possess,
Yeah.
using it as a way to connect with ourselves and find a sense of peace.
I love that they emphasize that it's the process that matters,
Yes.
not necessarily the end product.
Exactly.
It's about expressing yourself authentically, without judgment,
Yes.
or the pressure to be good at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about giving yourself permission to play and explore and let your creativity flow.
Now, there's another article called The Path of Resilience, Inspiring Tales of Triumph and Discovery,
Yes.
and it lives up to its name. It's a collection of stories about individuals who found solace through different paths, sometimes unexpected paths.
Right. A beautiful tapestry of resilience and the power of the human spirit.
So it's about recognizing that there isn't one right way to find solace. It's a personal journey that unfolds differently for everyone.
Precisely. And they highlight a variety of themes that weave through these stories, embracing authenticity, discovering passions, nurturing well-being,
Yeah.
all connected by this underlying current of resilience.
What I found particularly interesting is that they emphasize the power of perspective
Yes.
and self-acceptance. It's not just about overcoming challenges, but shifting our mindset and learning to embrace who we are, flaws and all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that true solace often comes from within, cultivating self-compassion, learning to see ourselves as worthy of love and belonging.
Regardless of our circumstances, speaking of self-love, I think we could all use a little more positivity in our lives, right? And wouldn't you know, there's an entire article dedicated to cultivating a positive mindset
Oh, yes.
as a path to inner solace.
This one's fantastic. It talks about the profound impact of simply choosing to look at the world through a more optimistic lens.
Okay.
It's not about denying the challenges, but choosing to focus on the good, even in the midst of difficulty.
So training our minds to see the silver lining,
Yes.
even when it feels like we're surrounded by storm clouds.
Exactly. The article highlights practices like gratitude, which has been shown to have a significant impact on our well-being.
Like keeping a gratitude journal,
Yes.
or just taking a few moments to reflect on things we're grateful for.
It's about shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have, appreciating the abundance in our lives, recognizing that even in the midst of challenges, there are things to be thankful for.
I love that. And they also talk about the importance of reframing negative thoughts,
Oh, absolutely.
which can be a real energy drain
It can.
and prevent us from experiencing solace.
It's so easy to get caught up in that spiral of self-criticism, negative self-talk. But this article encourages us to be more gentle with ourselves, practice self-compassion, view challenges as opportunities for growth.
So instead of beating ourselves up when we make a mistake,
Right.
it's about asking, what can I learn from this, and moving forward with kindness and understanding.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress. Setbacks are a natural part of life. We don't have to be perfect to be worthy of solace. Embracing our imperfections can be incredibly liberating.
They even suggest surrounding ourselves with positive influences.
Yeah.
Whether that's through the people we spend time with, the books we read, the podcasts we listen to, or the activities we engage in. Creating an environment that supports our well-being and helps us stay connected to that inner peace.
It's about being mindful of the energy we allow into our lives, choosing to surround ourselves with things that uplift and inspire us. And speaking of mindfulness, they bring it back full circle, emphasizing the importance of being present in the moment, appreciating the beauty of life as it unfolds.
I love how they tie all these threads together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're showing us that all these paths, creativity, resilience, community, positive thinking,
Yeah.
they all lead back to the same destination,
Yes.
a place of inner peace and well-being.
Exactly. Now, here's an article that might surprise you.
Okay.
It's called Revitalizing Solitude: The Power of Physical Well-Being for Inner Serenity. It focuses on the often overlooked connection between our physical and mental states.
So it's about recognizing that taking care of our bodies
Yes.
is just as important as taking care of our minds when it comes to finding solace.
Absolutely. The article highlights the importance of cultivating healthy habits, including exercise, nutrition, mindfulness practices that help us tune into our bodies and listen to what they need.
They talk about how exercise releases endorphins.
Yes, those feel-good chemicals that have mood-boosting effects. And they emphasize nourishing our bodies with a balanced diet, not just for our physical health, but for our mental clarity and overall well-being.
It's about understanding that what we put into our bodies directly impacts how we feel, both physically and emotionally.
Exactly. And they tie this back to mindfulness, encouraging us to pay attention to our body's signals and make choices that support our health and vitality.
Like treating our bodies with the same care and respect
Yes.
we would offer dear friends.
Exactly. Recognizing that our bodies are not separate from our minds, but an integral part of our whole being. And when we nourish our bodies, we nourish our spirits as well.
Okay, this next article is for all the travel enthusiasts out there.
Okay.
It's called Serenity in Sojourns: Embracing Solace Through Travel's Transformative Journey.
Nice.
All about how travel can be a powerful source of solace and personal growth.
Oh, this one's close to my heart. They talk about the transformative nature of travel. Its ability to take us out of our comfort zones, expose us to new cultures and perspectives, help us reconnect with ourselves and the world around us.
It's like travel shakes things up a bit,
Yes.
gets us out of our routines, and helps us see the world with fresh eyes.
Exactly. They even describe travel as a form of therapy,
Oh,
a
wow.
way to escape the monotony of everyday life and rediscover a sense of wonder and adventure.
So it's about more than just checking destinations off a list.
Right.
It's about immersing ourselves in new experiences, expanding our horizons, opening ourselves up to the transformative power of exploration.
Absolutely. And they emphasize the importance of immersing ourselves in the local culture, trying new things, being open to the unexpected, embracing the journey, and allowing ourselves to be surprised and delighted by what we discover.
They also talk about the solace that can be found in nature,
Yes.
the importance of spending time in natural environments, whether that's hiking in a forest, swimming in the ocean, or just sitting under a tree and soaking up the beauty.
It's about recognizing the restorative power of nature, the sense of peace and tranquility it can bring, a reminder that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, connected to the rhythms of the natural world.
Okay, last but not least, we have an article that explores minimalism
Oh, nice.
as a path to finding solace. It's called Embracing the Elegance of Simplicity: Discovering Solace in Minimalism.
No, minimalism. It's become quite the buzzword these days.
It has.
But this article goes beyond the trendy aspects and delves into the heart of what minimalism is really about, recognizing that sometimes less is more. And simplifying our lives can create space for things that truly matter.
So it's about decluttering both our physical spaces
Yes.
and our mental spaces,
Yeah.
letting go of material possessions and negative thoughts that weigh us down.
Precisely creating a sense of order and clarity in our lives, which can lead to greater peace of mind and a deeper connection to ourselves and our values.
They talk about how the act of decluttering can be incredibly liberating, both physically and mentally. It's like clearing out the cobwebs, creating space for fresh air and new possibilities.
Exactly, and they highlight the benefits of minimalism for creativity, arguing that constraints can actually spark innovation. It's about focusing on the essentials, stripping away distractions, and allowing our creative energy to flow more freely.
Like that saying, you can't see the forest for the trees.
Right.
Sometimes you need to clear away the clutter to appreciate what's important.
That's a great analogy. And they even touch upon, eco-minimalism, which connects these principles to environmental consciousness, recognizing the impact our consumption has on the planet and, choosing to live more sustainably.
So it's not just about simplifying our own lives.
Right.
It's also about contributing to a healthier world for everyone.
Exactly. Finding that sense of interconnectedness,
Yeah.
Recognizing that our choices have ripple effects. And we can make a positive impact by living more intentionally.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. It's incredible how each article in this Solace issue though focusing on different aspects of life, ultimately circles back to this idea of finding inner peace and connecting with ourselves and the world around us.
It's like they've created a roadmap with multiple routes all leading to that same destination of solace. Whether it's through tapping into our creativity, nurturing our relationships, embracing change, or simplifying our lives, it's about finding what resonates with us and using those tools to navigate life.
It really is a treasure trove of insights and inspiration.
It is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious what stood out to you from all these different perspectives on finding solace. Was there a particular article that sparked your curiosity or maybe even shifted your thinking about how you approach your own journey?
Maybe something resonated with a current challenge you're facing, or sparked an idea for a new project, or a way to incorporate more mindfulness into your daily life. What's important is that you take away something meaningful from this exploration.
And here's a thought to leave you with. Imagine taking just one idea from this issue and putting it into practice this week. How might that shift your experience even in small ways? Maybe it's starting a gratitude journal, setting aside some time for creative expression, or just taking a few deep breaths before diving into your to-do list. Small steps can lead to big changes, and we'd love to hear about your journey. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Creative Nation's Solace issue. Until next time, may you find peace and inspiration in unexpected places.